right, if you just joined us or you're still with us, it's still Enterprise Weekend reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's get to our conversation for today. Air Peace has promised to bring back the trafficked underage Nigerian girls from Ivory Coast and also give them free medical care. Onyema, the airline's chairman, made the announcement in a statement. He called for collective efforts to discourage trafficking, emphasizing its inhuman and ungodly nature. Onyema said, and I quote, "We should discourage trafficking of any kind. It is inhuman and callous. It is absolutely ungodly, a good example of man's inhumanity to his fellow man." He continued, "We in Air Peace are ready to bring our fellow citizens back free of charge. Besides that, we are going to send all of them to Duchess International Hospital in Ikeja for free medical examination and treatment, while we implore the Nigerian Embassy in Côte d'Ivoire to assemble them and reach out to us. We equally call on the federal government to take charge of their education while reuniting them with their families." I still have with me Barrister Van Sufeli. Thank you so very much for hanging on.
Very well.
Now, this particular matter actually came to the front burner when Very Dark Man visited Ivory Coast, and of course he uncovered some of these things. But what blew it beyond imagination was when he called on Abike Dabiri, knowing that she was in charge of a NIDCAM, to intervene and do what she was supposed to do. But she bluffed that. She made a mockery, literally made a mockery of the situation, which of course made the Very Dark Man to himself visit NAPTIP and all. Of course, Onyema is now coming into the picture. But let's start from the responsibility of those who hold significant power and how they're able to use it. Abike Dabiri has been there for a very long time. And safe to say, when she was with the NTA Newsline,
yes,
she was reporting on human angle stories such as the story that was brought to her.
Yeah.
But it's really strange how that she bluffed the situation.
Now she's a politician, okay? And as a politician, what she's doing is quite not very good in my estimation. Someone has called out for a very critical issue like this, which is one that should concern everybody. Whether he called on you or called on the wrong person, or whoever he calls on, the issue is not for you to capitalize on why didn't he know who to call? Why didn't he call Natip? Why is he calling you? That's not the issue. The issue is human lives are involved in a delicate situation. And he has called on whoever he called on, whether the wrong person or the right person. It's not the issue now. What should concern you as a politician who, is in an office where you are supposed to give service is to address the issue and not the person or the mode through which they call you or call anyone. It's just, okay, you have reported this to me. Let me send this message to the very relevant authority that's in charge, than to trivialize it and then make it look like, whatever it is. That is very wrong. So he's supposed to get down to work. Even calling on her is not even wrong. Okay, if we want to really dig it and rationalize it, it's not even wrong. Okay, but the right authorities now are aware. So why would you be doing, trying to make mess of the whole situation? Because she's used to, even when Nigerians who were in Ukraine, and then the war, as I time the war was about to start, they were to take them to Poland, and the same Air Peace volunteered to go to Poland and rescue them and all that. They started politicizing it and started making mess of it. They left the issue and they started arguments and the rest of that. So we should change that narrative, that kind of approach.
Or do you think she has overstayed her welcome with that department?
She has overstayed, and perhaps she's suffering from fatigue, and she's disinterested about the human condition. She's only there just, I don't know why she took that decision. Even while she was doing her job, she's always complaining about Nigerians, where they should go, where they should not go. If you know that you want to send travel risk alert, do it the right way. Inform people using the right channels. Don't go and be scolding people, okay, and be making statements like you are not a professional, you are not You are not really organized. You use uncut languages and all that against your citizens. Nobody does that. The United States of America, their human agency authorities will go to anywhere in the world to rescue their citizens without complaining, without cursing people, without making utterances that are not continental. So she will need to leave that office. Yes, they need to sack her from that office. I don't think she's fit and proper in character and learning any longer to continue to man that office. Because if someone is blowing a whistle and is blowing it anywhere, when you pick a radar of it, you get the authority involved immediately. Okay, now look at Alan Onyema, a private businessman. He's not a politician. He's not in government. This orderly should not concern him. Yes. Alan Onyema is not there saying, very black man, why did you call Abike? Why did you call Natip? Or why did you call Natip? Why did you call Abike? Or why? That's what Abike is this. And that is incompetent. That is insensitive. That is the real man's inhumanity to man. He has volunteered now. You know what it will cost to take a jet to Abidjan, Ivory Coast, to pull people out? It will involve tax. It will involve fueling the jet. It will involve there's a kind of money you pay for landing on the hangar.
Yes.
It will involve a lot of aviation issues and protocols, which will be a huge amount of money, and it's doing it free. It's not going to get a dime from even the government of Nigeria. So he's going to spend a lot, and we don't know how many there are. They may do more than a trip. That is a statement. If you have someone like if Onyema, or if Abike Dabiri is like Onyema, and you have one other person, we're already getting it right in Nigeria. But they won't. The politicians are not interested in the plight of the masses. They are not. And it's unfortunate that someone like Abike Dabiri will join this politician in this behavior. So let's get someone that is compassionate to fill in that seat. When you want to make appointments as a president, as a governor, get people that have compassion for humanity. Anyone that have no compassion for humanity cannot sit on that seat. It will not succeed. We had very good NAFDAC during Dora Akunyili because she's compassionate. You understand? She took the job very serious to save human lives. So those are the kind of people we should have. We shouldn't have people that will trivialize issues.
No, very, very true. But let's take a look at the issue of trafficking in Nigeria. It might be very unwritten because we don't see it happening. We don't even see how people move. You see people move from one place to another. You don't know the peoples for which they are moving. Do you think NAPTIP itself is doing an awesome job? And how do you think they can better do the job well when we all have rights to ourselves? If you see a young man pulling a crowd of young people, most of the time you don't have the rights to question. But how do you think we can better police this particular matter so we can even stop it if it's possible?
The best way to police this matter is to address poverty. These people who are living in droves, they are being promised jobs, they are being promised a good life, they are being promised house girl job, house boy job, they're going to work in factory, they are going to pay them some amount of money. So they are living in their droves. The ones even out of school. Okay, look at it. If government decided to make sure that they carry out a campaign and ensure that all the children out of school in Nigeria are able to get them back to school, okay, that will keep a shape on the issue. Then as they are leaving school, government will have a program. It's either you are going to write JAMB, you get to university, or you want to do a vocational study, or you want to learn how to do something. If government have all those layers and poverty have been addressed, these children will not have the time to want to go to where? Go to China and see how the children from kindergarten are being taught how to manufacture goods. Those kind of children cannot leave that thing. Yeah, they are fixated.
Yes.
That they can't leave it. You will not even see the person who is going to come to communicate to them, to tell them that they should leave this thing, they want to take them somewhere, they will give them work. So there's poverty. Okay? Look at our streets. There's child labor, hawking going on our streets. All over Lagos here. People are hawking. Those children, if you meet any of them and promise them anything better than that, they'll follow you.
But do you think it's becoming more like a culture? I don't know, but it's becoming more like an African thing. We're beginning to commonize it like it's part of our culture. When children, maybe because of the tropics that we live in, children are free to maybe help the household after school. After school.
Abuse. It's an abuse. It was trending on the internet a few days ago when a woman was scolding another woman for coming out very early to do with the daughter that's supposed to be in school. And a lot of people were raining curses at her that small girl is helping the family economy. And I was wondering, I said, no. I know that when we were young, our parents brought us out early to come and do things we ought not to be doing.
Like going to farm and all.
Going to farm,
fetch water.
Fetch water,
So,
and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the poverty I'm talking about.
So that's not training.
We did that. No, so see, we were underage. We're not supposed to be doing that. What we're supposed to be doing at that age, we're supposed to be with our books and our studies. That's all we're supposed to be doing. At age 5, 6, you go to, for some of us who stayed in the barracks, you leave your block, you go to 5 blocks away, you carry water jerrycan in your head. At age 5, 6. Sometimes the jerrycan falls off and gets broken. With the fact that the jerrycan will fall off your head means you don't have capacity. It's child abuse. We now saw it as training. Sometimes we won't say it was because of those things we turn out this way. It's not necessarily true. We're not supposed to be. We can run errands for our parents, of course. I mean, it's given. But not to take on issues like taking over the responsibility of our parents to keep the family surviving. Like now becoming the breadwinner. You know, some parents, they give their children wares to go and sell, and they tell them as they're leaving, if you don't sell everything, don't return. That's child abuse. You know, even the Child Act is there, the child should not be sent to go and hawk. So those people, they are multitude in this country. If anybody walk up to any of them and tell them that will take you to this country, when you get to this country, you get more money than what you are earning, they will follow them. So these things, many of them even are trafficked without their parents' knowledge. Some of them, their parents contribute to their trafficking. They give them out to go and bring money for the family. Most of them are doing houseboy, house girl in Lagos here. You know, there's traffic within the country and there's traffic outside the country. Okay, human trafficking.
Yes.
And some of these very wealthy people are also even involved in the trafficking because they are the ones that use the housemaid and house whatever all that. That's for children who are below the age, you know. But for elderly people who choose to be house help, it's not an illegal job. And for those who are of age, it's not an illegal job. But trafficking generally is fueled by poverty. There's no rich man that have his daughter or son trafficked to one country to go and be doing what? They either go for vacation or something, not to go and work to survive. So poverty is at the heart of it. How can government address poverty in Nigeria? That's one big conversation that we need to have a national conference on poverty, because it has distorted everything in this country. The kidnapping you see today is fueled by poverty. Insurgency you see today is fueled by poverty. Those who have become so angry and disgruntled about how poor they have lived are the ones carrying arms when they say Western education is evil. It's not the truth. Poverty has ravaged them. They were the ones out of school in the 80s.
Yes.
Today they have become an albatross. They are now a Frankenstein, you know, troubling the country. Okay, that they avoid taking arms against the country to ensure that the country does not ever succeed, it does not ever get to be good for anyone. That's what they are giving back, because that's what they got. So government must be ready to address poverty. This thing they are addressing, spending money recklessly on the rich, it's not addressing the poverty. You are widening the poverty gap the more. And to get to that point where they say that one day the poor will have nothing to eat but the rich. Because at the end of the day, look at the cost of living now. You understand? How many Nigerians can even survive 3 square meal in a day now? It will really take a rich man to eat 3 times in a day in the current day Nigeria.
All right, so while we, of course, my last question just before I let you leave, while we, of course, recognize the big elephant in the room, which is poverty, which you did say there should be a state of emergency on that particular one. But just take a look at the little things that we can do. A very classical example was what you actually championed, open defecation. You went to the court against the Lagos state government, against Ogun state government, and realistically we could see the results today throughout along the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road on the Lagos end.
Yeah.
It's clean because of what you have done.
Yes.
Do you think, how Herculean do you think it is for people like you to equally take up the task also against the government on child abuse, child's right, for the government to do something about it, such that kids who are selling, hawking on the streets can be caught? Do you think it's ever possible to achieve such kind of success like you did for open defecation?
It's possible. The conversation is now. Now we have this issue of trafficking. We'll see the root cause. The root cause has to do with poverty and children out of school. There is no child who has completed secondary school or who have an OND that can easily be, told or informed to go somewhere where they're going to pay him better, where they're going to get money or whatever. It's difficult. So the moment you allow that gap to exist, that out of school children gap to exist, you are opening the door of child trafficking. Because then their minds will be like an open hole. Anything you put in there will germinate. So they can easily be recruited into it. So it's possible. We can actually file an action against the government to, do something about out of school children in Nigeria. Declare a state of emergency about it and restrain every parent in the country from allowing their children to be away from school. And how can that be done? We have to partner with the state governments. We have to partner with the federal government. We have to partner with all relevant authorities, traditional rulers, villagers, and the village institutions, the vigilante. Let them go around during school hours and arrest every child that is not in school. Bring their parents also to the village square. Let the village square organize, the state will organize, they will take them from there to the capital city of that state. They should come and show cause why their children are out of school. So that if it's because of poverty, the government can fill in the gap. If it's because of any other thing, the child can go through a therapy session. We can do it. This thing can be done. That is what is fueling the trafficking. If we have that, Onyema need not go and spend money on carrying this thing. If we are doing that maybe in the last 10 years, we would have fixed this out of school thing. Then when we fix that, we would have closed the door to child trafficking and prostitution. We would have closed the door to baby factory. There's another looming one. This baby factory thing. Young girls getting pregnant for unknown men. Yes. They give birth to the babies. The babies are sold to unknown persons. We would have closed all those doors. If we can have because between the ages of 0 to 12 is the formative years of a child. That is when you need to close all the doors of vices. by putting the child in school. So if the child is in school, is engaged. Before he leaves the primary school, his inner faculty would have developed. In that same manner, he gets to secondary school. Before he finished secondary school, he would have been totally eviscerated from the banalities of societal vices. If he's able to go to university, fine. If he establishes himself thereafter, fine. But we need to shut those doors down. In the US, there are nothing like out of school children. The ones that are not going to school practically are homeschooled. Okay? So the society does not stand any risk in future of child prostitution and molestation and trafficking and all that. That society does not stand the chance of such social malady. But here in Nigeria, that door is still widely open. In fact, as we speak, more children, because of the cost of living, more children are falling into that net. Even the ones that were in primary school before have withdrawn. Government is not doing anything about it. What is the function of a local government? What is the function, what is the essence of a local government in Nigeria? If a local government cannot teleguide the children in that region to ensure that they are in school during school hours, the local government has failed. The local government chairman is not supposed to be there. It's not supposed to be there. Because from every local government, there's no part of this country that is not in a local government. This place we are is in a local government. The local government of these authorities will ensure that no child is out of school. If we leave them to be out of school, they don't really know much about their left or their right, whether going to school is beneficial or not. It's the adult that will ensure that they're in school. It is in the later future that they will get to understand why they are being asked to go to school. They will get to understand later. So if they don't know whether it's profitable or not at their age, they can just sit back. You know, this government promised to feed children in school to encourage them to be there. But they fail to understand that they need to also recruit the local government to be at alert to ensure the children are in the school to even get the meal in the first place. So they're not getting it right at all. I don't know. We're not serious in this country. We're not serious in this country to make sure that things go well. And it's unfortunate.
Very, very so unfortunate. Before now, Nigeria used to be a very serious place. That was during the regional government when Obafemi Awolowo in 1955 allowed for free and compulsory education for children in the southwestern states. At that time, he said to the oligarchy that if they refused to train that poor child, then the same poor child would make it difficult for even their own children to exist. And that is the situation we have today. Well, no child deserves to be trafficked. Every child deserves a home. Every child deserves the freedom and the right to exist and live like every other child. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you so very much, Barrister Fansofeli,
pleasure
for being here. Thank you so much also for making the picture complete. We truly do appreciate you. But please do well to visit us. You can always read up on all that we have discussed right here. And when you visit us at enterprisetvnews.com, you may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms to rewatch more at Enterprise TV7. My name is Henry Gwibike. Thank you for watching. We'll see you. Bye-bye.